Hello, welcome everyone to this lecture on Book 1 General Aspects of Energy Management and Energy Audit. So, this book 1 is divided into 11 chapters. Chapter 1 is Energy Scenario. What is the scenario of energy in India and in world? How much is the reserve? How much is the production? All those things we will see in chapter 1. Chapter 2 is Energy Conservation Act. After understanding the scenario in this in the world and in India, we will see what are the policies to save energy and towards achieving sustainable development, Energy Conservation Act 2001 and related policies. Then chapter 3 is the basics of energy and its various forms. In this chapter we will see different forms of energy and its various forms. Energy management and audit, then materials and energy balance. So in this book 1, first few chapters are very theoretical, and mostly objectives may come from these chapters. At best you can read this few chapters 1 or 2 times just to be familiar with what are the topics contained in it, and in the exam if some questions come, then you can attempt it on the basis of your knowledge that you acquire after reading these chapters. Chapter 5 Materials and Energy Balance is numerical kind of chapter. Mostly numericals are coming from this chapter, and you need to practice a lot to master this subject, especially if you are from other branches than mechanical. Then you may face difficulty in solving problems related to this chapter, as it needs you to understand about mass, about energy. So we will see in detail as we go through various numericals and various concepts in this chapter in upcoming lectures. Chapter 6 is Energy Action Planning. Chapter 7 is Financial Management. In financial management also numericals are coming, 10 marks, 20 marks, like that numericals are coming on NPV, IRR, payback period. This payback period you will be using in other books also, that is book 2, book 3. At various places you need to calculate payback period for the energy saving measure that you would propose to your client organization. Project management, there you will learn about CPM and PERT. Here also numericals are coming from this particular chapter, and these numericals are very easy. If you target only numericals from chapter 1, then you can easily crack this paper. Then chapter 9 is Energy Monitoring and Targeting. Chapter 10 is Energy Efficiency and Climate Change, and New and Renewable Energy Sources is chapter 11. In chapter 1 Energy Scenario, there are 15 subtopics. In topic 2, 3 and 4 we will learn about the different types of energy, how the energy are classified, classification of energy, primary energy, secondary energy, and what are commercial energy and non-commercial energy, then renewable and non-renewable. So in exam they may give you few forms of energy and ask whether they are primary or secondary, or which one is not primary, which one is not secondary. So you should know the definition, and also you should be able to classify the energy into primary or commercial or renewable. So we will see these things. Then 1.5 is global primary energy reserves and commercial energy production. So this chapter deals with the reserves and the production. There you will also see about R by P ratio, then final energy consumption and India's energy scenario. So first you will learn about the world energy scenario, then you will learn about India's energy scenario, what are the different sectors consuming energy, which sector is consuming more energy, and after that energy needs of growing economy. So for any economy, any growing economy, energy is needed. Integrated energy policy. So for all these different sectors, what is the integrated policy? Then energy intensity on purchasing power parity. So we will look about purchasing power parity. So a long-term energy scenario for India, then energy pricing in India. What is energy pricing in India? Because the price of energy or fuel, let's say oil, will be fluctuating in international market. Sometimes it will be high, sometimes it will be low, but in India we will be paying a different price fixed by our government. So what is the energy pricing in India, we will see in this chapter. Then energy security. So if we want to develop, then definitely we need growth, and for growth we need energy. So many forms of energy may be available, and some forms of energy might not be available. For example, oil reserves might not be sufficient in India to meet the growing demand of industrial demand. So how to ensure energy security? Then energy conservation and its importance. We'll see all these chapters one by one. So let us begin. So first is the introduction. Energy. What is energy? Energy is defined as the ability to do work or as the ability to carry a heat transfer. So ability to do work, that is what is energy. Energy has many different forms like thermal energy, electrical energy, chemical energy, nuclear energy, gravitational energy, and all forms of life and society need energy to function and live. Energy is one of the major inputs for the economic development of any country, but critical requirement for developing nations for basic needs. So in order to meet the basic needs, you need energy. Energy can be classified into primary energy, secondary energy, commercial, non-commercial, renewable and non-renewable. So what is primary energy? Primary energy, all types of energy extracted or captured directly from the natural resources. So what are natural resources? Whatever we find on the earth's crust, below the earth's crust, above the earth's crust, all comes under natural resources. So often they are directly used. It is classified into two distinctive groups, renewable and non-renewable. Renewable means which can be renewed, like or inexhaustible. The natural resources which are inexhaustible, like solar, wind, biomass, etc. And non-renewable are fossil fuels like oil, coal, natural gas. We have got certain reserve of oil and coal under the earth's crust. So if we are continuously using it, then over the time they will get depleted and they will be exhausted. So we will also see about this in R by P ratio, that is reserve to production ratio. Energy resources removed from the earth's crust include oil, coal, natural gas and uranium. Primary energy contributes over 85% from fossil fuels. So fossil fuels, they constitute around 85% of the primary energy, and rest 15% are renewable. So non-renewable is 85% and fossil fuels is not sustainable in long term as it affects the natural environment. So whenever coal is taken out from the earth's crust, either by open cast mining or by underground mining, then when coal is taken out, the place is abandoned, and it causes pollution and clear evidence of climate change caused by human activity. So whenever pollution is there, so climate may change. Then primary energy content of all the fuel is expressed as tons of oil equivalent, that is TOE. Sometimes it is also written as MTOE. So MTOE means metric ton of oil equivalent. It is also TOE only. You should not confuse in numericals. If it is written MTOE, don't multiply it with 10 power 6, because MTOE may represent metric ton of oil equivalent, which is same as tons of oil equivalent. So this one point you need to keep in your mind, otherwise you will get confused by solving the problems. Generally that M will be written in capital letters, like 1 MTOE means it is telling about 1 TOE only, but 1 metric ton of oil equivalent they want to say. So is equal to 1 into 10 power 7. So this is 10 power 7 kilocalories is equal to 11,630 kilowatt hour is equal to 41,868 megajoules, or sometimes it is also written as 41.8 gigajoules. Primary energy are mostly converted into secondary energy sources in industrial utilities. So in industries, primary source are converted into some other form. For example, in thermal power plants, coal is converted into electricity. So electricity is the secondary energy and coal is the primary energy. Primary energy can also be used directly. So directly taking it from the earth's surface, you can use it. Example, coal, natural gas is used as feedstock in fertilizer plants. Secondary energy sources are derivatives from primary energy sources. Example, electricity, steam, etc. So whenever there is some kind of utility which is converting it into different form, then you will get secondary energy. Primary energy are mostly basic in nature, which are directly taken from the earth. Then another classification is commercial energy and non-commercial energy. Commercial energy is the energy that is available in market for a definite price. Any form of energy used for commercial purposes constitutes a commercial energy. Commercial fuels are predominant sources of energy not only for industrial use but also for many household needs. So what they are telling, that commercial energy is available for certain price. For example, electricity, you need to pay some money. Coal, if you want to buy coal, you have to pay money. If you want to buy oil, refined petroleum products or natural gas, you have to pay a price. So it is commercial in nature. Then non-commercial energy, energy which is sourced within a community and its surrounding area and which is not normally traded. So this is the keyword. Commercial energy is traded and non-commercial energy is not traded in the commercial market. Example, firewood or agro waste in rural areas. They also give energy. They are also used to cook food, but they come under non-commercial energy. Then solar energy for water heating. In many buildings they have solar water heaters, and also solar panels are installed above the building, so that whatever they are generating, they are consuming, they are not selling it, so they come under non-commercial form of energy. drying grain, fish and fruits, then animal power for transport, threshing, lifting water for irrigation, crushing sugarcane, wind energy for lifting water and electricity generation. Suppose wind energy you are using, that also you are consuming yourself, so it is a non-commercial form of energy. The next category is renewable and non-renewable. Renewable energy is the energy obtained from the natural sources which are essentially inexhaustible. Non-renewable energy is a natural resource which cannot be produced, grown or replenished. And the fossil fuels, for example, they are non-renewable in nature because they are formed over thousands of years, and once depleted it cannot be replenished. And renewable energy is energy obtained from the natural resources which are essentially inexhaustible, like the solar, wind, etc. So this is the next part we will discuss in our next lecture. Thank you.